Hi everybody, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Jill, otherwise known as the Enlightened Target, and this channel is devoted to narcissistic abuse awareness and recovery, parental alienation, complex post-traumatic stress disorder, and anything and everything associated with those three main topics. Today's topic is going to be all about something called coercive control and how narcissists utilize it as a very effective and frightening form of control, abuse, and dominance over their victims. It is a very severe form of emotional and psychological abuse, and I personally have never heard of a case of narcissistic abuse or parental alienation, which is child abuse, that did not involve coercive control. So first, let's define exactly what coercive control is. Coercive control refers to a pattern of behaviors that a perpetrator uses to gain control and power over another person by eroding that person's self-esteem and autonomy. It's a strategic form of ongoing oppression and terrorism used to instill fear in a victim. It can take many different forms, which I will get into later and give some examples. And it is a very serious form of domestic violence, intimate partner violence, and child abuse. And as far as I'm concerned, it is always present and part of a narcissist's toolbox that he or she uses to control and manipulate their victims. It's a nasty and unpleasant topic and disturbing to say the least, but something that we need to know about and to understand so that we can recognize it when and if it happens to us. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I'm so happy you're here. I would like to invite you to please subscribe and hit that notification bell because I put out new videos every week. Also, if you are interested in one-on-one private narcissistic abuse recovery coaching with me or group coaching on Sundays, please visit my website or send me an email. Both are linked in the description below. So today we are talking about something called coercive control, which is a very serious form of domestic violence and always a part of narcissistic abuse. In my opinion, coercive control is most notably a form of psychological abuse and is highly successful at controlling abuse victims without having to use overt and violent abuse tactics. As I mentioned, coercive control is a pattern of behaviors, and basically the goal of the abuser is to convince or make the victim believe they, the narcissistic abuser, is always present and that they know or will find out about anything you do. I have clients that have actually been convinced by their abuser that they can read their minds and know at all times what they are thinking. Basically, coercive control creates invisible chains on the abused to the abuser. It creates a sense of fear in the victim when the abuser is not even with them. Evan Stark, an expert in coercive control, says that coercive control is like being taken hostage. He says the victim becomes captive in an unreal world created by the abuser, entrapped in a world of confusion, contradiction, and fear. So let's talk about some of the different ways that narcissistic abusers utilize coercive control to dominate and control their victims. The first one, and the most common one, I think, that is used specifically in narcissistic abusive relationships is threats. The narcissist might say to their victim, if I ever catch you with another man or woman, you won't live to see another day. Or they might say, if you don't do XYZ, when you get home, I'll make sure you never forget to do it again. Or the narcissist might say, if you ever do XYZ, I will ruin you, I will ruin your life, your reputation, and I will take the kids and leave you homeless and on the streets. These are all examples of what coercive control could look like. Another way that narcissists utilize coercive control is by isolating you from family and friends. They do not want you to have a support system, and so they will usually start isolating you from your loved ones pretty early on. This may come in the form of physically moving somewhere far away. It may come in the form of bad-mouthing your family and friends and making you lose faith in them. Or it may come in the form of rage and anger anytime they come around, making you want to avoid them because you know when they're around what's in store for you when they leave. But isolating you from friends and family is another excellent example of coercive control. By the way, this is also one of the tactics parental alienators use to brainwash a child against a targeted parent. They isolate the child and block any communication from the targeted parent and start actively forcing these lies and this rewritten history onto the child until the child has no other alternative than to accept the lie as truth. Another way narcissists utilize coercive control is by monitoring your time, your whereabouts, your online activity, your spending, telling you where you are allowed to go and where you are not allowed to go, monitoring how many miles you put on the car, telling you who you are allowed to see and talk to and who you are not allowed to see and talk to. They very well might put spyware on your computer or arrange for flying monkeys to help them keep tabs on exactly where you are and what you're doing. They are known for putting tracking devices on cars or setting up nanny cams in the house. But they want you to know they are watching you, and if you do anything that you are not allowed, then you know without them saying a word that you will be in danger and will have hell to pay. Next, a popular coercive control tool that narcissists use to control their victims is by monitoring or limiting access to money. Narcissists are famous for using financial abuse as a form of coercive control. In fact, I have never seen a case of narcissistic abuse where financial abuse was not included. Whether the narcissist controls all the money and limits access or makes you ask for money and keeps tabs on what you spend, or takes advantage of your money, spending without any limitations, taking advantage of your finances or your credit. I have had both aspects happen to me. My father was the controlling financial abuser, and my ex was a spending and entitled financial abuser of my money. Those are some of the most common ways narcissists utilize coercive control, but there are many, many other tactics that are considered coercive control, such as not allowing you to work or go to school, stalking, restricting your access to transportation, gaslighting, name-calling and degrading and humiliating you, turning your own children against you and alienating the kids from you, which in my opinion is the most disgusting and evil form of coercive control. They may even threaten your kids, their safety, or your pets. These are all examples of coercive control. And again, this is a very severe and cruel form of domestic violence and child abuse, and is finally considered a crime in the United Kingdom. And I am so hopeful that soon the United States and all other countries will follow, making coercive control a crime punished by the loss of their freedom, meaning jail. The only way narcissists are going to change their behavior is if they consistently face consequences only they personally don't enjoy, meaning money and a lot of it, and their freedom, meaning jail time. You are never going to reach the logical part of the narcissist's brain or the empathetic part of their heart where they realize their behavior is harming their loved ones. They could care less that what they're doing is abusive and damaging to their victims. The only thing they care about is themselves. Therefore, the solution to get changed behavior from the narcissist must come from serious and consistent consequences that affect them personally and that are extremely unpleasant for them personally. Nothing else is going to work. What they are doing is criminal, and it needs to finally be treated as such. Okay, that's going to do it for today's video. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and please subscribe to my channel. Also, follow me on Facebook and Instagram. The links are in the description below. Thanks for watching, everyone.